Okay, good morning students. Welcome back again. We were discussing chapter number 11, right? It is quite a big chapter. The name of the chapter is the proposal, and this is part number 4 that we are going to discuss today. And we'll try to finish this chapter in today's session. So we won't have any pending issues related to this chapter because tomorrow the vacation starts, right? So we'll finish this chapter in today's session. You know the story, right? I'll just repeat the name of the 3 important characters which are there in this story. The first one, that is Stefan Stefanovich, who is the landowner. Second one is Natalia Stefanova, his daughter. And third one, that is Ivan Vesselovich, Lomo. He is again a neighbor but a suspicious landowner. You know what story goes around, right? I hope you understand and remember what we have did in part 1, 2 and 3. So let's begin with part number 4, where we were, right? That is on page number 153, right? 153, I'm reading it from the half of the page again, so you'll recall what we did yesterday. Okay, Natalia, overshot easily. The first time I hear it, they were talking about dogs, right? Now they are getting onto a different argument, right? From their property, now they are moving towards dog, right? Lomo, I assure you that his lower jaw is shorter than his upper. Natalia, have you measured, right? Lomo, yes, he is alright at the following of course, but if you want to get hold of anything. Natalia, in this first place, our squeezer is a throughout bred animal. Sorry. The son of harness and chisels, while there is no getting at the pedigree of your dog at all. He is old as ugly as a worn cab horse. Now they are talking about dogs, and there is an argument going on between Natalia and Lomo about their own dogs, right? Squeezer is the best, and the other one says, Lomo says that Guess is the best dog, right? That is what the argument is going between both of them. Lomo, he is old, but I wouldn't take 5 squeezers for him. Why? How can you? Guess is a dog, right? As for a squeezer, well, it's too funny to argue, right? I cannot take 5 squeezer if it is being offered to me, right? Guess is a dog. Squeezer is not a dog. That is what the indirect sense Lomo is trying to say to Natalia, right? Well, it's too funny to argue. Anybody you like has a dog as good as squeezer. You may find them under every bush almost. 25 rubles would be a handsome price to pay for him. You paid 85, but if you suggest to me and if you tell me, I would not pay a single more penny rather than 25 rubles, right? That is 25 rupees. Let us say that, right? Natalia, there is some demon of contradiction in you today, Ivan Vesselovich. First you pretend the meadows are yours, now that the guess is better than the squeezer. I don't like people who don't say what they mean, right? Is there any demon in you? Aaj tu kai nakki karine આવ્યો છું that you have to create an issue between property. First you had an issue with the property, and now you are arguing about the dogs that guess is better than squeezer. What is there in you, right? Why are you behaving like this? Because you know perfectly well that squeezer is 100 times better than your silly guess. You know from inside that squeezer is much better dog than your guess. Why don't you say he isn't? Why don't you say he isn't, right? Lomo, I say Natalia Stefanova, that you considered me either blind or a fool. You think that I'm a blind or a fool? Do you really think that I'm a blind or a fool? You must realize that squeezer is overshot. You must realize, you must know, right, that squeezer is overshot. Overshot means overweighted, too much bulky. Right? I'm not a blind, I'm not a fool, right? Natalia, it's not true. Lomo, he is. Natalia, it's not true. Lomo, why shout, madam? Well, now, Lomo is saying the same concept to Natalia. Why shout? Right? Why shout, madam? Natalia, why talk rot? It's awful. Why shouldn't I? That means, why shouldn't I talk roughly? Right? It is awful. Whatever you are saying is not correct. It is awful. It's time to your guess was shot and compare him with squeezer, right? You are comparing your guess with the squeezer. That's not acceptable, right? That is what the indirect sense means, right? Comparison is photo. You cannot compare it, right? Lomo, excuse me. I cannot continue this discussion. My heart is palpitating. My heart is palpitating, right? I cannot continue this more discussions or any kind of more arguments, right? My heart is palpitating. That means I have pain in my heart. It started all over again. Natalia, I have noticed that those hunters argue no list. Now Natalia is still in his mind, right? She is telling that I know such kind of people who are there in this world who knows nothing about the topic, but they have the maximum to say. Right? ઘણા એવા લોકો હોય જેને બોલવાની બહુ ટેવ હોય, ખબર કાંઈ પડતી ન હોય. આપણા ગુજરાતીમાં ઘણા બધા એવા લોકો હોય છે, right? એ વચ્ચે કૂદી જાય ઘણી બધી એવો એટીટ્યુડ અથવા એવું એક કહેવાય ને એક ટેવ પડી ગઈ હોય દે હેવ ધી ટેન્ડન્સી શું થયું વોટ હેપન્ડ રાઈટ ના એણે તો આમ નહીં આમ કર્યું નોટ લાઈક ધીસ નોટ લાઈક ધેટ many people have that tendency to do all these things right they want to know everything from here and there and they want to put their point in their view nothing know about the discussion and they put their nose into the topic right so Natalia says these things to Lomo right I have noticed that those hunters argue who knows the least right જેને કે આવડતું જ ન they are the most to talk they are the most to talk right Lomo because એમની પાસે કે વાત કરવા સિવાય હોતું નથી Lomo madam please be silent right now Lomo is in calm voice madam please be silent my heart is going to pieces shouts shut up right my heart is going to pieces that means my heart is breaking and a heart might look pain start thinking though that his heart is breaking and Lomo says shut up please keep shut up doesn't mean in an arrogant voice shut up means keep silence right Natalia I shan't that means I will not shut up until you acknowledge that squeezer is 100 times better than your guess I will not keep your mouth shut until you agree that squeezer is better than guess જ્યાં સુધી તું એ વસ્તુ એગ્રી નહીં કરે ત્યાં સુધી I will not keep my mouth shut I want to agree that squeezer is a better dog than guess right Lomo 100 times worse be hanged to your squeezer his head his eyes and his shoulders right 100 times worse right whatever you say it's 100 times worse squeezer is 100 times worse than guess hang him from his head hang him from his head hang him from his eyes and hang him from his shoulders right જ્યાંથી એને લટકાવો હોય લટકાઈ that dog is not better than guess is not better than guess do whatever you want tell whatever you want right but guess is far more better than squeezer squeezer લટકાવો હોય તો લટકાઈ દો from the shoulder from the eyes and from the neck I don't mind right Natalia there is no need to hang your silly guess I'm not talking about my dog I'm talking about your dog તારા dog ને લટકાવવાની જરૂર નથી right I don't need to hang your dog he is half dead already મરેલો જ છે he is already half dead why should I hang your dog this is what Natalia is replying in a toned voice right Lomo weeps shut up my heart is bursting shut up silence now it's too much my heart is bursting that means my heart is paining much or my heart is paining a lot Natalia I shan't shut up enters Chuboko now the argument is going on who enters again his father that is Chuboko right what's the matter now again he enters and he sees that both are quarreling with some issues or some topic right and he says what's the matter enters Chuboko Natalia Papa tell us truly which is the better dog our squeezer or his guess now the same concept right is being repeating again first it was related to the property now it is related to dogs the same topic the same sentence is being repeated by Natalia Papa please tell us right that is which is the better dog our squeezer or his guess right Lomo Stefanovich I implore you to tell me just one thing is your squeezer overshot or not yes or no right Lomo asked this question to his father you tell me very correctly that squeezer is overshot or not yes or no I need an answer in yes or no just tell me very honestly Stephen Lomo is saying to his father is the squeezer overshot yes or no he wants the answer in yes and no right Chuboko now what does he reply and suppose he is indirectly he agrees see this is a direct indirect speech right this is the most important chapter yes I'm coming to this topic again I forgot to tell you that in exams this is the most maximum probability of direct and indirect speech that is being asked from this chapter right because many conversations are there where direct and indirect speech is related right so I'll teach you when we'll get the time of direct and indirect speech but this chapter is an important one related to direct and indirect speech it contains 3 marks right I'll teach you I already uploaded the video on YouTube you can watch it out whenever you get the time right but still I'm going to teach it again in the class whenever we get time but first we need to finish this textbook concept right so we'll be done with it Okay, so let's come to the topic again. Okay, and suppose he is, that means Chuboko is accepting indirectly that squeezer is an overshot, right? What does it matter? So શું થઈ ગયું, right? What does it matter, right? He is the best dog in the district for all that and so on. He is the best dog, not in the society, not in the area, but in the whole district. But in the whole district, he is the best dog in the whole district, right? And so on. Whatever you want, you can say. Low, but isn't my guess better really now? Now indirectly you are accepting that squeezer is an overshot. That means I have got my reply. That means I have got my reply. That guess is better. That guess is better really now. Right? That is what the indirect sense means. No, but isn't my guess better really now? You said it, you accepted it in an indirect way, and suppose it is, that means he is accepting that particular squeezer is in fact one, that is an overshot. So Lomo replies on the other side, but isn't my guess better? You accepted indirectly, so I would again accept indirectly. Now that is what you are trying to say, that if your squeezer is an overshot, right, that means my guess is better. That means my guess is better, really now, right? That is what you are trying to say. And that is what you have proved by saying that squeezer is an overshot, right? This is a direct, indirect speech of kind of communication going on. Chuboko, don't excite yourself, right? He again says, don't excite yourself, relax, right? My precious one, allow me, your guess certainly has good points. Now he is favoring guess, right? Your guess, that means your dog has some good points. He is purebred, that means from the જે આપણે અલગ-અલગ બ્રેડ્સ હોય ને, that means જે combine કરીને પછી એમાંથી એક new breed ઉત્પન્ન થાય, right? That kind of breed, right? That kind of dog is purebred, firm on his feet, very strong on his feet, has well sprung ribs, that means his ribs are very strong, and all that. This is what Chuboko is telling, right? But my dear man, but that is now on the other side, right? If you want to know the truth, if you really want to know the truth, that dog has two defects. ગમે એટલો strong છે, સારો દેખાવ છે, muscles છે, ribs છે, but has two defects. He is old and he is short in the muzzle. Maze હોય ને, maze and muzzle, right? પેલું જે આમ maze માંથી જતા હોય, there is a competition, આ maze માંથી જવાનું, jump કરવાનું, એવા બધા competition હોય maze and muzzles, right? The two defective points that Chuboko is telling to Lomo, that he is old and he is short in muzzle, right? When there is a competition, he cannot compete, right? Lomo, excuse me, my heart, oh no, my heart is fading again, right? Let's take the facts. You will remember that on Marcinski's hunt, my guest ran neck and neck with the count's dog, while your squeezer was left almost behind. Now, Lomo is talking about a competition which was held on Maruskini hunt, right? And there he says that my guest ran neck to neck with count's dog. That means there is some other dog, right? Whose name is Count. He is the owner and he has his own dog, right? The name of his dog is not given, but Count's dog, that means some other person's dog. He ran neck to neck. While your squeezer was left almost behind. There a competition, right? When there was a competition in Maruskini, right? My dog ran neck to neck with Count's dog and your squeezer was left behind. Remember? આવું શું કામ કીધું? કારણ કે ચુબોકો એવું કીધું હતું that your dog is old and he is short in the muzzle. That means he is not too much competitive in the particular race or the maze and muzzles competition. એટલે લોમોએ એને યાદ દેવડાવ્યું, એક competition યાદ છે, right? It's a મારું dog, that means my guess ran neck to neck with Count's dog and your squeezer was left behind. Remember that? This is what Lomo is saying. Chuboko, he got left behind because the Count's whipperin hit him with his whip. Why did he got left behind? Do you know the reason? Because he got a hit with other dog. And that is why he was left behind. Lomo, and with good reason. The dogs are running after a fox. Where squeezer goes and starts worrying a sheep. Now Lomo replies in a toned way, right? He says, with a good reason, right? The dogs are running after a fox, right? You know the fox, what fox is, right? And dogs run behind the fox to kill them, right? So you can imagine the speed of the dogs who are running to kill the fox. That is what is known as the competition, right? They have to run very quick, they have to run very fast, right? So when I talk about my own particular case, the dogs are running after the fox while your squeezer, that means while your dog starts worrying a ship. When he sees a ship, right? Ship, ghetu, right? Not that ship, right? When he sees a ship, he starts worrying about himself, whether I can compete or not. The ship needs speed, very slow. My dog is running after a fox. That means you can imagine the speed, how much fast it is. And your dog, that is a squeezer, right? He starts worrying a ship. That means whenever there is a competition between a sheep and a dog, that means your dog, sheep is much more faster than your dog. That is what Lomo is trying to say indirectly, right? There a fox and a dog ni race lage, that is guess and particular fox, they run very fast, right? Like chasing each other. The dog is chasing the fox, so you can imagine how much speed it would be. And when there is a race between your dog and a sheep, squeezer starts worrying whether I can win, yes or no. So you can imagine the competition criteria between squeezer and guess, right? No competition at all. This is what Lomo is saying indirectly to Natalia's father. Chuboko, it's not true. It's not true. My dear fellow, I am very liable to lose my temper, and so just because of that, let's stop arguing. Now I'm getting angry. If you say something else, if you add something else, right? Let's stop arguing. Let's stop arguing. You started because everybody is always jealous of everybody else's dog. You started it. I know that you are the one who have started this topic again. And you know that everybody else is jealous of each other's, of everybody's dog. Right? But then in a society, alag dogs hoy ne, એટલે તરત comparison થાય dogs વચ્ચે. My dog is much more stronger than your dog, and that why that my breed is much more higher than your breed of dog, and a comparison. And they starts to feel jealous. They starts to feel jealous. Right? This is what the society is even today. Dogs ની વાત કર્યો તો માણસ એકબીજાને ઈર્ષા કરે, right? Dogs are an animals. Humans are, jealous of each other because they cannot level up their particular concept. Here it is about the dogs. Here it is about the dogs, right? Juboko is telling, yes, everybody is always jealous of everybody's else dog, right? Everybody is jealous of everybody's else dog, right? Yes, we all are like that. See, he is also accepting. Yes, we all are like that. Dogs ની તો ઈર્ષા થતી જ હોય, માણસને એકબીજાની ઈર્ષા થતી હોય, કોઈ સારું હોય, કોઈ આગળ પડતું હોય, કોઈ આગળ જતું હોય, someone is progressing. There are 10 people who are ready to pull the leg rather than motivating him to go on a higher stage. They are not concerned with the truth. They are not concerned with the real picture, how much hard work is being done. But they only see the success criteria and they cannot achieve it. That is why they are ready to pull the leg because they are jealous of them. And this is what the real world is. Right? અહીંયા dogs ની વાત છે, પ્લસ એવું પણ કીધું છે, we all are like that. We all are like that, right? There are many people, right? When you are on a moving way, when you are progressing, right? When you are moving in your life ahead, there will be 10 people to advise you and 20 people to pull your leg. So you need to be very firm on your work, right? Then only you can move ahead in your life. Right? You need to be very firm in your decisions. This is what we are learning from this chapter. Right? You have to take your decisions very smartly. That will help you in your own development. Right? This is what we are learning. This is what the communication power is. This is what we are learning in the concept or in the name of the language. Right? There are some hidden messages always there in the poem or in the particular chapters. That is what we have to understand. Right? Let's move again to the chapter, right? Let's stop arguing. You started because everybody is always jealous of everybody's else dog. We all are like that. You too, sir. So now Lomo is saying, you are also too jealous, right? Aren't blameless. That means you also are blameless, right? You are not enough. You are also the same. You no sooner begin with this, that, the other and all that, I remember everything. તમે બી છો, ચલતી ગાડીએ ચડી જાઓ છો, કોઈને કંઈક બોલવામાં બાકી રાખતા નથી. I remember everything. I remember everything. Lomo, I remember too. I remember too. Chuboko, teasing him. I remember too. What did you remember? Now he's teasing. શું યાદ છે તને કહેજો. What do you remember? What did you remember? Right? Lomo. My heart. Again. My heart. My foot's gone to sleep. That means my legs are not working. I can't. That means I cannot move. I cannot move. Lomo started again. Natalia. Now Natalia is teasing. See. My heart. What sort of a hunter are you? You ought to go and lie on a kitchen oven and catch back beetles, not go after foxes, my heart. Taunt marriage. Your dog is stronger, your dog is much more stronger, right? He is chasing the foxes. And you are so weak. You are so weak. जो क्यों taunt मारो समझो, right? गुजराती में समझाओ. Natalia so बोले, right? Try to understand. Natalia is teasing. Teasing means taunt marriage in an indirect way. My heart. What every time you say my heart, my heart? What are you saying? What sort of a hunter are you? That means what sort of a person are you? You ought to go and lie on a kitchen over and catch back beetles, right? Beetles, no. Right? You go into a kitchen and catch a beetle while not go after the foxes. That means your dog is stronger, right? They are chasing the foxes. Why aren't you that much strong? તારો ડોગ તો બહુ સ્ટ્રોંગ છે ને, એ તો ફોક્સની પાછળ જાય છે દોડવા અને કેચ કરવા. And you lie in a kitchen and catch the beetles. આટલો ડિફરન્સ તમારા બે ઓનર અને ડોગ વચ્ચે, right? That is what Natalia is saying to Ivan. That is, if your dog is chasing the foxes, why are you catching beetles in the kitchen? You should be that much strong enough, right? If your dog is that much strong, comparison કરી દીધું dog જોડે. Natalia is comparing Ivan with his own dog. That if you say that if your dog is running after a foxes, you must be that much stronger, right? Every point of time you say my heart is palpitating, my heart is palpitating. Why are you so weak? Why are you so weak, right? That is what is known as teasing. કોઈની દુખતી રહો ને એના ઉપર પગ મૂકો, ગુજરાતીમાં એવું કહેવાય. That kind of a thing, or the words have been used by Natalia. Now you try to recall this chapter. That girl fight or had an argument with his father just to call him back, right? Just because she liked Ivan. That is what we have seen in this chapter. She also changed the topic, right? Because she liked Ivan and she was waiting for the proposal, but Ivan totally forgot this concept, right? And now they are on an argument, or there is a debate going on between whose dog is better than whose. Right? Second example of miscommunication. I told you in part 2 and 3 also. Be clear and be to the point. Right? So this was a miscommunication from the side of Natalia. If she knew that Lobo or Ivan came actually for the proposal, why wasn't she ready to ask the same question to Ivan if he came here for the proposal? She wanted that the boy should propose me. And Lobo had no idea. He had forgotten all these things because of the issues which were going on related to the property. And again he was called back. See, this is where miscommunication takes place. Right? If you want to get back it on the track, you need to be on the point very clearly. But still they were not. Right? And now see, that particular conversation has turned into an argument or a debate. Whose dog is better than whose? Right? My point is, again I am saying, your communication should be very clear. What you are trying to say should be very clear, so that the other person can understand. Alright? I am repeating it again because that will improve your communication. You need to be on the point. You don't need to go round and round again. Right? Let's move ahead. I hope you understand what am I trying to say. Okay. Natalia, teasing my heart, what sort of a hunter you are? You ought to go and lie on a kitchen over and catch back beetles, not go after foxes, my heart. Chuboko. Yes, really, what sort of a hunter are you? The same concept is being repeated by Chuboko. Yes, what sort of a hunter are you? Anyway, you have to sit at home with your palpitations. You always have this complaints. My heart is, palpitating and my legs are not moving. You always have this kind of complaints, right? And not go on tracking animals. You couldn't go hunting by you only, go to argue with the people and interfere with the dogs and so on. Let's change the subject in case. I lose my temper. You are not a hunter at all anyway. Right? That means you are not at all fit. You cannot do anything by yourself. Right? And that is why you always come with an argument such like that my dog is better than your dog. And if I lose my temper, right, it will get worse. So let's change the subject anyway. Let's change the topic anyway. Right? જે કહેવત હોય ને, જે લોકોને કંઈ આવડતું હોય એ લોકો વાતો જાજી કરતા હોય, બોલતા જાજા હોય, એકબીજા વિશે વાતો કરતા હોય. Because they don't know anything by themselves. And that is why they always have the topic to talk of someone else. Here it is an example of a dog. Right? Humans have a tendency of talking of other people. આણે આમ કર્યું, તેણે તેમ કર્યું. તમે શું કર્યું? What did you do? Rather than focusing on yourself, they are much more focused on what the other people did. Right? This is what human behavior is. This is something very wrong. Right? We should focus on ourselves. We should focus on our work. That will lead us to our own development rather than focusing on other self. Right? And that leads to competition and create differences between humans and goes on the negative side. Right? તમારી પણ એવી ટેન્ડન્સી હશે જ્યારે પેપર્સમાં માર્ક્સ આપે ને, આને કેટલા આવ્યા, આને કેટલા આવ્યા, વાય, મને કેટલા આવ્યા, that is more important. And then you try to create differences between each others. Why to create differences? Why to say he is much more smart and much more knowledgeable than me? You have got the same brain, you are in the same standard, you have the same age, right? Focus on yourself. That will lead to the development of your own. This is what we are learning from this chapter. See what kind of communication is going on, right? એકબીજાને insult કરી નાખે છે, dog જોડે compare કરી દે, property માં એના forefathers ઉપર જતા રહે. This is the worst communication that is going on in this chapter. Just because of the differences they are creating, because might be of the property or because might be of the dogs, which are actually not concerned, which are, you know, properties and materialistic things, right? Which lasts temporary. જોડે તો કે લઈને જવાના નથી. But the words that we use are on the extreme negative level. Why? Because we start comparing. મારી પાસે આમ છે, મારી પાસે આમ નથી. My dog is better and your dog is not. And dogs even don't care about all these things. The most important fact is, dog ne to khabar hi nathi mara vise jhagdo થાય છે, and they are, you know, favoring me. Dog doesn't know anything because they do not understand this language. What kind of conversation is going on? Humans are fighting with each other or creating differences because of their dogs. They are creating a jealousy factor because of their dogs. That my dog is stronger than your dog. What kind of mentality do we have? We don't understand. Many people, 8 out of 10, right, are concerned with this concept. આને શું કર્યું, પહેલા શું કર્યું, rather than focusing on yourself. આપણે શું કર્યું? This is what we have to learn in our own life. So it's an advice to all the students, right? Whenever you go ahead in your life, focus on yourself rather than your competition, because it will divert your mind. Because if somebody is much more stronger than you, you will feel that you are weaker than him. Right? Automatically a concept આવી જાય, he is stronger and I am not. Why to compete? Are we in this competitive world? Yes or no? No. So we need to focus on ourselves. We need to focus on our own work, right? Rather than focusing on some others' work. And that will create differences and will lead on the negative side. Because you will always have a competition in your mind which is related to marks, which is related to life, or which is related to your profession or anything else. Right? Focus on your work and lead for your own personal development. ક્યાં પાછા પડીએ છે, આપણે પોતાનું જોવાનું, બીજાનું નહીં. Right? આપણી ભૂલ હોય, see it, check it, accept it and move ahead. Try to come out of that error, work hard and move, and that is what is known as your own personal development. Here, the communication that is going on is totally worthless. Because the main bottom line is the boy actually came here for the proposal. Right? આ જે communication છે ને, that is all worthless. That is all what is not at all required. Proposal was being accepted by his father, so that was a moment of joy actually. Right? That was a moment of joy. His father accepted his proposal. He wants proposal, right? So it should be a happy moment. The communication that should be done at that point of time should be related to their own life, should be related to their own development. Some happy conversation should be going on. But see what kind of communication is going on. Why? Because you are not clear with what you want. You are going on the other track of the directions. and that always leads to the differences and humiliating and creating jealousy and trying to bring out differences and proving your own point that I am correct. Right? This is what we have to learn from this chapter. And the communication at Thailand. Right? So I hope you understand what the meaning of the chapter is, what we are learning from this chapter. Right? Let's move ahead. There I was. Chuboko. Why am an interpreter? Shouts, shut up. Right? Sorry, excuse me, I was on the previous one. Lomo, are you a hunter? You only go on hunting to get with the real count of an intrigue. You owe my heart. You are an integrator. That means you are a person of excuses. This is what Lomo says to Chuboko also. Right? You are the same. You are the same. Right? Jare hunting ni વાત આવે, right? You are the same. You are the same. Tells to Natalia's father. જે વસ્તુ ચુબોકોએ લોમોને કીધી હતી એ જ વસ્તુ લોમો સામે ચુબોકોને કહે છે that you are the same one. You are the same one. Now Chuboko, what does reply? What? I am an integrator? Shouts, shut up. Shut up. That means put your mouth to your shut. That means do not speak anything more. Lomo, integrator. શું કરી લઈશ? What will you do? Integrator. Chuboko, boy, pup. That means keep your mouth shut. Now I'm getting angry. Lomo, old rat. Jesus. Right? You are an old rat. What was the age of his father? Double of Ivan. What was Ivan's age? 35. So what would be the age of his father? 70. Right? Old rat. Look at the words that Lomo is using. Old rat. Right? Jesus. That means, oh God, please. You are an old rat. Right? Oh God. Right? You are an old rat. You are an old rat. Right? Chuboko. Shut up or I'll shoot you like a partridge, you fool. Right? Shut up or I'm going to shoot you. Right? Terror હોય ને જ્યાં વોર ચાલતો હોય ને આર્મીના લોકો હોય ને એકબીજાને શૂટ કરી દેતા. I'll shoot you like that. You should keep your mouth shut or I'll shoot you, you fool. Lomo. Everybody knows that. Oh my heart, your late wife used to beat you. Everybody knows that. My heart, that means everybody knows in this society that I have a problem of heart. My heart is palpitating. Right? Everyone knows it. But your late wife used to beat you. Remember that? Your wife used to beat you. Look at the communication that is going on, right? My feet, temples, sparks, I fall. Our words mein saambhadela. When I was in my home, your wife used to beat you. And I remember the words that you were speaking. My feet, temples, sparks, I fall. Right? I have heard this conversation in my house. Right? This is what Lomo is saying to Natalia's father. I remember that your wife used to beat you. Right? I fall. આવા બધા words મેં મારા ઘરમાંથી સાંભળેલા. Right? Chuboko. And you are under the sleeper of your housekeeper. Right? Now you are under the sleeper of your housekeeper. Lomo. There. My heart's burst. My shoulder comes off. Where is my shoulder? I die. Falls into an armchair. A doctor. Now what does Chuboko reply? See. And you are under the sleeper of your housekeeper. Right? Housekeeper. Maid. Right? મારી તો વાઇફ મને મારતી હતી. તને તો તારા ઘરની મેડ મારતી. The housekeeper of your maid. That is the maid. Right? You are under the sleeper of your housekeeper. Right? You didn't have even the guts to talk frontally with your housekeeper. That means with your maid. This is what Chuboko is saying. Look at the conversation that is going on in very downgraded words or such kind of words which actually should not be used have been there in this chapter. Right? Army communication ઉપર આવી ગયા. Lomo. Now there. That means please stop. Right? My heart is bursting. That means my heart is paining a lot. My shoulders come off. That means my shoulders are getting out of my body. Right? Okay, તોડી નાખ્યો હોય ને બ્રેક કરી દીધો એટલે કેવું પેઇન થાય. આખો બહાર નીકળી ગયો shoulder. So my shoulder is coming out. Where is my shoulder? I cannot feel my shoulder. Right? I die. Falls into an armchair. પેલી આરામ કરવા વાળી ખુરશી હોય ને ઉપર નીચે થાય. Right? Armchair. Right? He falls into a chair. A doctor. That means he lost his control, right? Biban થઈ ગયો. And he falls into an armchair, unconscious. right? And he falls into a armchair. And the last word that were being used is a doctor. A doctor. Lomo was unconscious. He fell into an armchair, right? Chuboko, boy, milk soap fool. You are a boy, milk soap. Milk soap એટલે કેવું એકદમ સોફ્ટ હોય ને, રાઈટ? નાના છોકરાઓ કેવું મિલ્ક નો કોન્સેપ્ટ વધારે હોય એમની લાઈફમાં. મિલ્ક સોપ, રાઈટ? દૂધિયું છોકરું, રાઈટ? એવું આપણે કહીએ. એના જેવો છે સાવ, રાઈટ? 35 years અને કોઈ એમ કે you are a boy, that is a joke, that is a fun made of him, right? Milk soap fool, I am sick. Drinks water, sick. Chuboko drinks water, right? Natalia, what sort of a hunter are you? પેલો બેભાન થઈ ગયો છે, છતાં આજી કન્વર્સેશન ચાલુ. Now Natalia speaks. What sort of a hunter are you? You can't even sit on a horse. That means you can't even sit on a horse. That means can't even you fight. Can't even you stand on your own legs. To her father, Papa, what's the matter with him? Papa, look, Papa, screams. Ivan Vesselwich, he is dead. Look. Ivan Vesselwich. Dad, please look into this boy. Right? Ivan Vesselwich, he is dead. He is dead. Right? This is what Natalia is saying. Chuboko, I am sick. Right? I can't breathe air. Right? I am not well. I cannot breathe air. That means I need some good air. Right? And the last page of this chapter, right? What happens in the climax? Natalia, he is dead. Natalia, he says to his father, Papa is dead. Papa pulls Lomo's sleeve. Veins on it, right? We have the veins on our hands, right? Pulls Lomo's sleeves. Ivan Vesselwich, what have you done to me? He is dead. Falls into an armchair. A doctor. Right? What have you done to me? He is dead. Falls into an armchair. A doctor. Chuboko, oh, what is it? What's the matter? Natalia wails. He is dead, father. He is dead. Amrigyo. He is dead. Right? His heart was bursting. Remember? His heart was paining a lot. And the last word that he says was a doctor. Right? What's the matter? He is dead. Chuboko, who's dead? Look at Lomo. So he is, my word, water, a doctor. Lifts a tumbles to Lomo's mouth. Drink this. No, he doesn't drink. Pani apo, modama parane pani piyudao. Right? No, he doesn't drink. That means he is not drinking the water at all. It means he is dead. And all that. I am the most unhappy of men. Why don't I pull a bullet in my own brain? Chuboko is saying I am the most unluckiest and unhappiest man in this particular world right now. Why don't I pull it in my brain? That means why don't I shoot myself? Right? Why haven't I cut my throat yet? That means why have I not killed myself yet? What am I waiting for? Give me a knife. Go get into the kitchen and give me a knife. Give me a pistol. Pistol. Je aave mane de de. This Chuboko is telling to Natalia. Lomo moves. Achanak Lomo moved. He started to move. He seems to be coming round. That means he is getting his senses again. Drink some water. That's right. Right? Chuboko is saying, give him some water. Drink some water. Right? That's right. Lomo. I see stars. And he says, who dekha window to stars dekha window. Right? Missed. Where am I? Bhuli gyo. Kya hato? Where am I? Right? Chuboko, hurry up and get married and well. Now Chuboko directly comes to the point, right? પેલો અચાનક ભાનમાં આવ્યો, એને stars દેખાતા હતા, એને ખબર નહોતી એ ક્યાં હતો. He was asking the question to Natalia Chuboko. Okay, where am I? I don't remember where am I. Now Chuboko says, hurry up, come on, get up and get married. He directly comes to the point. એને ખબર પડી ગઈ હતી Chuboko. Now if there is more argument, right? The main topic, that is the proposal, is never going to be done. So Chuboko cutted the topic. He said, come on boy, get up, hurry up fast, right? And get married and went to the devil with you. Get married to this devil. Right? With you. Devil means his own daughter, right? She is willing. The devil is accepting. That means she is willing to get married. He pulls Lomo's hand into his daughter's. She is willing and all that. I give you my blessings and so on. Only live in peace. Right? છોકરીનો હાથ સીધો છોકરાના હાથમાં આપી દીધો. Finished. The topic is over. He pulls Lomo's hands, right? Lomoનો હાથ દીધો into his daughter's hands and એની છોકરીનો હાથ એના હાથમાં આપી દીધો. Right? She is willing. That means I know that she is willing and all that. Finished. I give you my blessings. I am giving you the blessings and so on. Only you can go and take my daughter. Only leave me in peace. મને શાંતિથી રહેવા દો. That is what Chuboko is telling to Ivan, right? Lomo getting up. Ah, what? To whom? Alright? What are you saying? To whom I should get married? भूली गयो तो, right? And stars देखा था. Chuboko, she is willing. Well, kiss and damned tea to you, right? Kiss her and finish the topic, right? Marriage था ना, like Christians ma kiss करे एक बीजाने. That is what it is. Kiss her and finish it off. Damned to you, Natalia wails. He is alive. Natalia, father, he is alive. Yes, I am willing. Natalia directly says, पहला तो proposal करियो भी नहोતું. એને stars देखा था, ये भूली गयो था या શું કામ આવ્યો હતો, right? Because he was unconscious for a certain point of time. He forgot what was the actual reason he came here. That was the proposal, and Natalia directly says, yes, I am willing, right? Chuboko, kiss each other, finish it off, right? Kiss each other. Lomo, kiss whom? Whom shall I kiss? Right? હજી પેલાને યાદ નથી, right? એ ભૂલી ગયો છે, right? They kiss. Now Natalia is directly giving a kiss to Lomo, right? Very nice too. Excuse me, now let me get excused from here. This is what Lomo is telling. What is this all about? What is this all about, right? બધું હજી એના મગજમાં તો યાદ જ નથી. He has forgotten each and everything. Oh, now I understand. My heart, stars, I am happy. Oh, now I recall. Now I remember why actually I came here for, right? My heart, that means I finally remember that my heart was failing a lot, right? Stars, stars dekha માંડ્યા હતા. I am happy. That means I am remembering everything. Natalia Stefanova kisses her hand. My foot's gone to sleep. Now again Lomo is telling, my foot has gone to sleep. Not because of the pain, but because of the excitement. Because whatever the topic was, that is whatever the main subject was, the proposal, that was done. Not from Ivan, but from the side of his father. He gave her daughter's hand, right? His daughter's hand into the hands of Lomo, right? And he said, be blessed and leave me in peace. And Natalia agreed, yes, I am willing, right? Look at the situation happened in the climax. પેલો પ્રપોઝલ કરવાયો હતો, એ તો ભૂલી જ ગયો, અનકોન્શિયસ થઈ ગયો, ભાનમાં આવ્યો, એના ફાધરે તરત જ હાથ આપી દીધો એની ડોટર. What kind of proposal it is, right? And let's move to the end, right? Natalia, I am happy too. Chuboko, what a weight of my shoulders off. Chuboko says, okay, હવે મારા shoulders નો ભાર તારા ઉપર, right? My daughter now belongs to you. I have given my daughter to you, right? Natalia, but still you will admit now that guess is worse than squeezer. Now you have to admit, but Natalia is still on his line, see. But still you have to admit that guess is worse than squeezer. Even though they are married, right? Even though the concept has been done, the daughter's hand is given into the hands of Ivan, right? They both have kissed each other, the concept is over, right? Now what is Natalia saying? But even though we are married or even though we live together, now you have to admit that guess is worse than squeezer. Lomo, better. Natalia, worse. Chuboko, well, that's the way to start your family. Bliss means blessed. Wow, this is the best way you can start your family, by arguing with each other. Have some champagne. Lomo is still on his line. He is better. Natalia, worse. Chuboko, trying to shout her down. Champagne. Finish. Stop the topic over here. You both are married now. This is a great way to start your marriage. Let us celebrate with a champagne. Trying to shout her down, that means trying to calm them down, right? Champagne, that means let us celebrate, right? So this is where you finish your chapter number 11. If you have any questions,